We're glad everybody's here today. Thank you for joining us. We're pretty excited for this. Curt agreed to join us and hang out and give us a good overview of, how you all can use e-commerce to better your business and kind of get out there, maximize your growth, what you're doing. So he's got some great high-level overview for you all. We're really excited to hear about it and have it. At the end, though, of today's session, I am going to send a short survey link to you all. We really need your help because for Missouri Enterprise, for us to be here next month or next week, hopefully even, we kind of rely on your all's feedback to keep us going. So if you could help us out by filling that out, it'd be really great. And aside from that, Curt, I'm going to hand it over to you. So
awesome. Hey, thank you, Kaylee. What an honor and privilege. Happy Thursday, everybody. Did I say Wednesday earlier? Happy Thursday. So what an awesome opportunity here to join you guys. And I want to give a huge thank you to the Missouri Enterprise. If you're new to the Missouri Enterprise, they're part of the Manufacturing Extension Partnership Network, one in all 50 states plus Puerto Rico. They are the go-to resource for all things manufacturing. Just a dynamic team here. Jamie's on the call here, Kaylee, Jeffrey Sterling. We've got Dusty, your director. So all sorts of fun things going on at the MEP. So again, big thank you to those guys. Connect with them when you get a chance. Let's dig into the program. And as manufacturers, I see Curt. We connected on LinkedIn last night. Curt, thanks for joining us. David, welcome everybody. And thank you for all you do as entrepreneurs. I'll tell you, as manufacturers, you are the heartbeat. You are the pulse of our economy here in the US. And boy, our hats off to you. Thank you for all that you do. So let's just jump in. So Kaylee said, hey, Curt, this is the advanced crowd. So we're going to go super high level, man. And we would love to make this, drop your questions in the chat box. If you're just popping in, drop your website, your LinkedIn profile. We'd love to get to know you or know where you're coming from. And again, how can the Missouri Enterprise help you guys with your entrepreneurial journey? So today we want to talk about, hey, what's the technical definition of e-commerce? Okay, we're going to geek out. We're going to get really technical here. The technical definition of e-commerce is, hey, let's sell our stuff online, right? Let's sell as much stuff as humanly possible. Let's get our goods out there. Let's keep rocking it. So the big thing is we want to keep it super simple. I found in e-commerce, man, sometimes we just overcomplicate things. We make it a little too challenging. Let's make it super simple because you know why? Customers are just simply, they're distracted, they're busy, and between us, since we're all super tight here, Curt, David, Chuck, sometimes they're just not that smart. I know I am constantly that dumb customer, man. Like, sir, did you read the sign? Did you read a website? Well, they're busy, they're distracted. So we want to make it as simple as possible. Kaylee, us guys, we have very fragile egos. I don't know about the rest, Jamie. I hate asking for directions. Why? Nobody wants to look like the fool. So when somebody lands on your website, your social media, your LinkedIn, let's make it as easy as possible to do business with you. That's going to be our message, our mantra, our war cry today. Make it as easy as possible. Let's make those ideal customers feel like this guy. Let's make them feel like an Einstein, right? So let's just dig right in. So there's this awful, terrible, horrific disease going around. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It is called best kept secretism. If you are suffering from best kept secretism, man, and Missouri Enterprise has your solution. We have a book. It's called Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. That's what this program is all about today. So guys, my name's Curt Anderson. I'm coming to you live from a little tiny place in New York. It's called Lakewood, New York. I'm an e-commerce evangelist for manufacturers, proud girl dad. Again, I dropped my LinkedIn link in the chat box. Love to connect with you. We also do lots of fun e-commerce webinars every single Friday if you ever want to join us. Now, coming up, I'm super excited and thrilled to share with you. We have a wonderful guest. I don't curse on programs. So this is the founder and former CEO of Big Blank Fans. If you guys are familiar with that company, he built his company into a $500 million company, sold it. So he's going to be our guest. I'll talk to you more about that coming up. So question for you, are you guys, who is ready to start crushing it on e-commerce? We ready? Jamie, Kaylee, Curt, heck yeah, we are, right? All right, because you have greatness within you. Let's just dig right in. With that little best kept secret book that I was talking about, stop being the best kept secret. We have a 4-pronged approach. We do e-commerce training with MEPs, a bunch of different MEPs around the country. And this is our 4-pronged approach that we take our manufacturers through. We like to teach our manufacturers how to fish in the waters of e-commerce. Number 1, we want to discover who your ideal buyer is. We call them your soulmate. Number 2, how do you make a great first impression? We call it webpression. Number 3, we want to get out there. We want to stop being the best kept secret. We want to dominate search. And number 4, we want to get on the offensive. So let's take you through a little buyer's journey. Now, I know it's a little after 11 your time. It's lunchtime where I'm at. So if you're a little bit hungry, I have a warning. Please, if you like seafood, don't look at this next slide, Kaylee. Ready? Bam, check that out. Unleash your hunger. This is a company we had the honor and privilege of working with, came through our training program up in Alaska. So if you love Alaskan seafood and you want it fresh out of Alaskan waters to your table, check out what they've done. 3 words, short, concise. They're not giving you like their life story. Unleash your hunger will show you what you're missing. How about this one? Mouth-watering options on demand. Don't wait. Your taste buds will thank you. So think about the product that you deliver, the solutions that you provide, and how can you speak to that ideal buyer? Clear, concise, short, sweet, and really resonate that message, okay? We want to keep it super simple. So just a couple of things as we've taken our clients through the training, we want to keep it super simple. They've said, hey, being part of this digital marketing course was really eye-opening. We weren't even close to what we needed to do, reach our customer. This class helped me realize who our customers are. It was life-changing. So again, I encourage you, I invite you, I welcome you, dig deep and get a clear, concise understanding of who that ideal buyer is. Who are you speaking to? Now, a little pop quiz for you. Every person's favorite radio station on the planet is WIIFM. What's in it for me, right? So when I have a problem, your ideal customer has that problem. They're conducting a search. They do a Google search. They find you on LinkedIn. They don't want, unfortunately, as much as our family loves us, our moms, our dads, our kids, whoever, our customers just want to love us for the solutions that we provide. So when they land on your website, I call it the Wi-Fi's, maybe you call it the Wi-Fi's. What's in it for your soulmates? Okay, what's in it for your soulmates? Now, what do I mean by that? There's another awful, horrific, terrible disease, Kaylee. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's covering the world. It's like a pandemic, and I'll explain what it is. Many manufacturers that we work with, you go on their website, God bless them. They are absolutely awesome. They're busy. Their website's not a top priority, but when you go on their website, it's going to say something like this. We are on time. We have top quality. We have wonderful expertise. We have amazing capabilities. We are the best. Just ask us. What we do is we're making it all about us. And again, nobody cares about us. They just care about themselves. So I encourage you with your e-commerce strategy, let's make it all about them. Let me share another example with you. If any of you have daughters or kids, you know this company, Build-A-Bear. I probably have like a big tub full of Build-A-Bear somewhere here in my house. If you've ever owned a Build-A-Bear and that little bear talks to you, there's a device in that bear. It's a recording device, and it's produced by this company called Voice Express. So Voice Express is a great company. They're in Connecticut. We had the honor and privilege of working with them this year. We took them through our 4-pronged approach. I discover your ideal buyer. Who is their ideal buyer? Well, when you landed on their website, it just didn't really resonate or connect. You know, when you think about Build-A-Bear and that little recording device, this didn't connect. Now, they are selling to B2B. They're not necessarily targeting consumers through their website. So what we did is we took them and we dug deep into their ideal buyer, Monica Ventez. And Monica is a professional. We can find her on LinkedIn. She's busy. She's a mom. She's hanging out on sports events on weekends and in evenings. We want to get a clear understanding of just not the position. So many times I'll talk with companies that are like, well, who are you targeting? Well, somebody in HR, somebody in finance, somebody in purchasing. We want to understand that person, because if you're targeting entrepreneurs, man, they have a whole different set of frustrations and motivations than maybe a civil servant that's in purchasing in the government agency or a corporate warrior. So again, we want to dig deep and understand that ideal buyer. It also helps us do all these things. Our keyword strategy, our landing pages, how to speak the right language to the right buyer. where to take your products to market and services, and what socials are your soulmates hanging out on. Now, what we did is we revamped the website so it speaks to Monica, their ideal buyer, their soulmate. And look what they've done. Communicate with your customers. See the potential. They're using the word you instead of making it all about them. Okay. So again, that's what I encourage you to do. And again, like here's a nice little screenshot. Here's a discount. Here's a shop now. How about how-to videos? Boy, I couldn't encourage you, invite you, welcome you to explore offering how-to videos on your website. Now, if you are also exploring e-commerce, maybe for the first time, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you, invite you, encourage you. You want to explore Amazon. Here's a scary stat to think about. Over 60% of all product searches now start on Amazon. Man, digest that one. Over 60% of all product searches start on Amazon. Amazon is as much of a search engine now as Google. And we deal with a lot of custom manufacturers or folks that are selling 5-figure, 6-figure products. Even 7-figure products are found on B2B marketplaces or on e-commerce and on Amazon. So regardless of where you stand, where you walk with your e-commerce journey, boy, I encourage you. And the great thing about Amazon is it's a massive, massive market. It delivers social proof. Check this out. They have hundreds. Now they're in the thousands of 5-star reviews for this product. Search. I'm going to dig deep into search with you guys today. Targeting and partnering with the online marketplaces is also critical with your search strategies. We want to dominate search and stop being the best kept secret. Take a look at what's going on here. If I do a Google search for a dial recorder, now who's number one in this position with that picture? Amazon, but whose product is it? It's Voice Express. Over here, number 3, once again, it's Amazon. And it's Voice Express. So Voice Express is not bidding to be in these positions. Amazon is doing the marketing for them. So by targeting and aligning yourself with Amazon or the marketplaces, it's a great opportunity to take advantage of search. We also encourage our clients to take a look at Alibaba, a global marketplace that's doing incredible work. They now open up their doors to US manufacturers. This is a great place for folks to take advantage of. And again, you want to be found. That's how we can make ourselves as easy to do business with, by not being that best kept secret and being discovered on search. Let me give you another example. This is an awesome manufacturer I had the honor and privilege of working with. They're down in Miami, a group of millennials. They call me Uncle Curt. I'm like the old dude in the room, bunch of awesome Miami millennials. They do baby changing stations. Okay. So think about that, especially like during COVID, man, how important it is to have a nice, clean baby changing station. Well, we didn't feel like the webpage really spoke clearly to their ideal buyer, their persona. Who's their ideal buyer? Who's that soulmate? Here they are. Mario, the facilities manager, Taylor, the interior designer. I just couldn't emphasize this enough. We want to understand who your ideal buyer is. What are their goals, their frustrations, their motivations? What social media platforms are they hanging out on so we can go out and connect and resonate and deliver our solutions to them? Take a look at Taylor, like her goals, her frustrations, timing, orchestrating all the details, clients who think they're the designers, egos, her motivations, maintaining reputation, environment, willing to pay more for quality and style. So again, think about like, what are the goals? What are the frustrations? What are the motivations of your ideal buyers, your soulmates? And how can we sing that song to them on your website? So what we did, we created this awesome brand new landing page here. The first baby changing station with ionic hygienic technology. There's a little video here. Here's a call to action button. And what's so important on your website, especially as a manufacturer, for those of you dealing in the B2B space, the more that you understand your customer's customer. Back here, we had the ideal buyer, that soulmate is Mario and Taylor. However, ultimately, who is that customer? Right there, that little baby, mom and dad changing their precious cargo, whether they're at a ball game, the mall, wherever they are in public, and they want their baby safe. So the more that SantaFlow is the name of this company, the more that they understand their customer's customer, Mario's customer or Taylor's customer, the better that they can do to service their own customer. And again, Trying to understand Mario, the facilities manager. Look what they did here. They created this landing page, 10 problems solved for facilities managers. Download your resource guide. Again, remember we said customers, man, like they're between us, they're really not that smart. You have information, you have the expertise, you have a skill set, experience that your customers don't possess. Go out there and be that subject matter expert, provide that helpful information, have that download guide to build that trust, resonate with your folks to help them, again, eliminate their frustrations and their goals. Now I'm going to throw on my LinkedIn hat for a second. I'm a huge LinkedIn proponent. We do LinkedIn training. They started my team at Miami. These millennials, they were very skeptical, resistant to get on LinkedIn. They finally jumped on LinkedIn. And what they started doing, once a month, they go out into their community and they donate time giving back to the community. Here on the left, they're on Earth Day. They're out at the beach. They're cleaning up the beach. Here on the right, the next month, they're out at a food shelter, providing food for homeless. And check this out. I get this note, this email. Hey, Uncle Curt, you're right. LinkedIn works. They landed a wonderful gig with a university in Maryland. That was truly their soulmate. So again, by resonating, making that great first web impression, understanding and speaking clearly to their soulmate helped open up a door to a nice new opportunity. And again, you're kind of catching the theme here, you know, and somebody dropped this on our Friday webinar program one time. I'm stealing this quote. Nobody cares about your product, service, or solution. That's the hardest thing for sellers to realize. Man, it kind of hurts my feelings, right? All they care about is the difference that you can make for them and their organization. So again, think about how you can help your ideal buyer, that soulmate. We want to make them look like an Einstein. Now, Kaylee, I had to give you a shout out. So Kaylee, we do a LinkedIn Live interview. Jamie Quell's on a program. We had a wonderful interview. And Kaylee, I don't know if you know this. If you go to my website, you, my friend, are on my front page. Look at that beaming smile. So I just want to give a shout out. If I have free resource guides on my website, feel free, no questions asked, no obligation. Just we have some free resource guides for you guys today. And you get to check out Kaylee's smiling face there.
I feel honored. Thank you.
Oh, trust me, it's mutual. So guys, all right, now we need to talk serious, Kaylee. I'm a huge baseball fan. I'm dragging my daughter. We've gone to every baseball stadium around the country. If you ask my daughter, her absolute favorite stadium is in the state of Missouri. I'm going to ask you guys, any baseball fans out there, drop in the chat box, which stadium is better, which baseball team is better. Please put in a chat box. Is it the one on the left or is it the one on the right? And I'm curious to hear what results we get. So that's just a personal thing. Which baseball stadium is better? Stacy says on the left. Anybody else? Any other comments we have? St. Louis. David says St. Louis. Anybody else? Left, obviously. Baseball. What's baseball? Go Blues, Jennifer. Thank you. So, all right, you guys are making my day. So awesome. All right. So, hey, great legacy, amazing. Two of my favorite stadiums, and love the state of Missouri, love Kansas City, love St. Louis. So we will keep rocking and rolling. All right, guys, pop quiz. Go through we may have to say these together. Even if you're on mute, let's say these together. We want to discover your soulmate. We want to make a great, outstanding first web impression. We want to dominate search. We want to get on the offensive. All right. Any of you that have a teenage daughter who knows who this person is intimately, you guys could probably sing every song by heart. This is Engineering Elsa. Engineering Elsa was a persona, a buyer persona, and a soulmate created by an awesome client of mine called Faulconer Electronics. Faulconer Electronics is a custom manufacturer, just like probably any manufacturer in the great state of Missouri. 35 employees, founded in 1985. The same owner that discovered it in 1985 still owns it today. Tough time through COVID, but man, they are rocking it. Take a look at what they have going on. I want to talk to you about a landing page. And again, speaking clearly and concisely to our soulmate, Elsa. Okay. So now Engineering Elsa, let's just say hypothetically, she works at Boeing. She comes in and work this morning. Her supervisor, boss, somebody up the food chain comes in and says, Elsa, you have 30 things that you need to buy by end of day, ready, go. And she's like, oh my goodness, I have a soccer game to get to. I need to make dinner. I've got to run around. I'm a busy person. How am I going to buy 30 things today and be done to satisfy my boss? She starts out looking for a product called a ground strap. Not necessarily important what the name of what that product is, but what is a ground strap? I am so glad you asked. A ground strap is a little device that goes in anything that draws a current. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It is absolutely massive. Falcon Electronics was manufacturing thousands and thousands of ground straps every month for one customer in the auto industry. And we're like, hey, why doesn't anybody else buy these? Well, they were the best kept secret. Nobody knew that they offered them. Nobody knew that they sold them. Like, hey, let's get these on the website, man. Let's see what happens. So Elsa does a search this morning for ground straps, and I'm going to show you how we're dominating search because we've niched down into this tight space. Elsa lands on this page. Let's see what she sees. Receive an instant ground strap quote. Build your own custom ground strap. No RFQ wait time, takes 60 seconds or less. Are you kidding me? Show of hands, how many people have had to wait days, hours, weeks for an RFQ to be turned around? We're telling engineering Elsa, we have your back. We're going to turn this around in 60 seconds. We know you have a soccer game to get to. We know you have 30 things, other things to buy today. You can buy manufacturer direct, made in USA since 1985. We have a variety of lengths. We have a guarantee, call to action, get a quote fast. Any confusion, here's a video. Now you're like, hey, how do you know it's engineering Elsa? I'm going to throw back on my LinkedIn hat. Okay. Now when engineering Elsa clicks submit in 60 seconds, this is what she receives. She gets a little quote right here, and look down. This is Virgin Hyperloop. Virgin Hyperloop is part of the Richard Branson, Mr. Multi-gazillionaire. This is part of his family of brands. And we have a little call to action button down right here for Elsa to place her order now. She can pull out her credit card, buy. She is done. She can move on to the 29 other things she needs to buy for the day. And here's my LinkedIn hat, or little LinkedIn tip for you. Any lead that you get that comes through your door, boy, I encourage you, invite you, welcome you. Boy, check them out on LinkedIn, because here she is. Engineering Elsa, man. She went to Stanford University. She has her bachelor's in atmosphere and energy engineering. I didn't even know that that existed. She has her master's degree from mechanical engineering, and she was on the lacrosse team, man. We're dealing with a tough cookie. And now I know exactly who we're dealing with. We can build that trust. We can talk about lacrosse with her. We can talk about Stanford. We want to build that relationship with Elsa. And because we understood her pain points, now we can satisfy those as quickly as possible. Here's another cool example. And again, this is a custom manufacturer, 30, 35 employees. Here's, check this out where this arrow is. This lead came in for SpaceX, and SpaceX is looking for up to 20,000 pieces. That's a home run for a little tiny company like Falcon Electronics. Here's another one. I'm looking for a quote on 2 ground straps for our Ford kits. Look down here. We need 90,000 annually. This is talk a little baseball. This is a grand slam for a small custom manufacturer. So by niching down, focusing on their buyer persona, their soulmate, they've opened a door to Boeing, Ford, Pratt & Whitney, Amazon Robotics, Lockheed Martin, all sorts of major Fortune 500 companies, just by being laser focused and being the best in their lane. Now, here's my little saying I like to share with you. Your website, especially as a manufacturer, I encourage you, invite you, welcome you. You want to think about how can you help your soulmate make a buying decision on a Friday night at midnight without having to wait for to open up your door on Monday morning. So again, you want to make it as easy as humanly possible to do business with you. Okay. And I'm going to catch my breath for 1 second. So guys, if you have any questions, please feel free, drop them in the chat box, put them in the Q&A. I know Kaylee, I know you're keeping an eye on it. We'd love to, I know I talk fast, or I want to fire a lot of things at you guys. I'm going to be mindful of everyone's time. However, I don't want anybody confused or overwhelmed. I'd love to have a great dialogue here. We have an expert on the call. Stacy's here. He has vast website experience. So we have a great team here to help you at the Missouri Enterprise on how to help you with your e-commerce journey. So again, please don't be shy. Any questions, fire them off. Let's dig into, so I was talking to you about a landing page. I now want to talk to you about a product page. Okay. Now, I believe my friend Curt, you're in the food sector. You guys have engineering we have on the call. We have a bunch of different sectors represented here. What I want you to do, it's not so much about these examples. I just want you thinking about, okay, how is this applicable to your product, to your service, to your solution? And again, how can we speak clearly and concisely to your soulmate? So I'm going to, let's, again, just to humor me, let's pretend that we're engineering Elsa. Engineering also, well, engineers need all sorts of like geeky, techie information, right? So when you look at this landing page, not super sexy, right? But it doesn't need to be. It's an industrial product. But what is appealing to Elsa? She needs a great description, okay? Very detailed description. She wants to know, so right here, we want sizes, dimensions, so on and so forth. Then we can even go take it further. Hey, what about specs? Now, if you're like my friend Curt that sells food, maybe you're selling nutritional value, or our friends that are in engineering, again, like what are those important characteristics of your product or your service that you can put on here to help your buyer make that decision? Okay. I am a huge video proponent. Boy, you can shoot enough videos for me. Strongly encourage you, invite you, welcome you, get videos on your website in some capacity. We even have videos of a little ground strap. If you guys know what a ground strap is, like it couldn't be the more boring, basic commodity, but we do a little video, and I'm going to show you why. Not only just to help Elsa make that buying decision, it helps us attack search engines as well. Now, what we do, here's a little tip for you. If you are posting videos, I don't know about you, but we probably all live at some point in time on YouTube, and you go on YouTube and they recommend this video and that video. Next thing you know, like 5 videos later, you're like, hey, where was I? We don't want our customers to have that shiny object syndrome on your website. So what I encourage you to do, consider an alternative, Vimeo. Now, YouTube is critical for your search strategy. I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes. But Vimeo is a great alternative to host your videos on your website because it doesn't have those distractions where all those ads and other recommendations. So again, I encourage you, and what you do, check this out. We have a nice description here of that product. We're loading it with our keywords because we want to dominate search. And then we have links going from Vimeo back to that product. So when if our soulmate were to happen to find us on Vimeo, not through Google, we want to be able to get them back to our website as quickly as possible. So if you're taking notes, Vimeo, have a good, healthy description with your search keywords, and also links going back to your website of those product pages, because we want to make it as easy as possible for them to buy. Now, if you do have a finished good proprietary product, even if you're a custom manufacturer, part of our training program that we go deep into like how you can take advantage of Amazon, even as a custom manufacturer. We could talk about that offline or maybe after the program. But what Falcon Electronics does, again, for that social proof, they list their Amazon reviews. On a total whim, they started posting their ground straps on Amazon. They are now doing tens of thousands of dollars. Again, might not sound like crazy numbers, but these are solid numbers for a small custom manufacturer by just putting themselves on Amazon. Great reviews, great product, great results. And again, we can post a video right on Amazon. 70% of all product searches start on Amazon. Boy, that is just mind-blowing. Okay, so let's talk about how do we dominate search? How do we dominate search? Now, if you do a search for this little thing, now you guys are ground strap experts. Who knew that you guys probably didn't even know what it was before. Now you're an expert. If I do a search for ground straps, look, check this out. 64.9 million pages, nearly 65 million pages on Google that have a combination of ground strap. Guess who's the #1 top position? Our little friends at little old tiny middle of nowhere custom job shop, Falcon Electronics. They have what's called the Google Snippet. Man, this is every search marketer's dream come true, to own that Google Snippet. That means that somebody could click on this 1,000 times, doesn't cost Falcon or a single penny. They're in the #1 top piece of real estate on a Google search. Check this out. They're above Amazon. They're above Fastenal. They're above Summit Racing. They're above AutoZone, O'Reilly Auto Parts. So how on earth did this little tiny custom manufacturer come above all these companies? And I'm going to take it one step further. So this is the #1 position. When I go down the page, #2 is Amazon. #3 is Amazon. Guess what happens when I click into the ground straps on Amazon in the #2 position? Here's Falcon Electronics, here's Falcon Electronics, here's Falcon Electronics. Because they've positioned themselves on Amazon, even though Amazon is in that ranking right there, when you click into that page, it's Falconer. Now, when I go to this 3rd spot right here, guess what? #1 is Falcon Electronics. #2 is Falcon Electronics. Down here at the bottom, #4 is once again our friends at Falcon Electronics. So even on that organic, that free listing on Google, if I click on the number 2 position, I'm finding Falcon Electronics. If I click on the 3 position, so they basically have real estate on the top 3 organic positions because they've tried to attack and own a particular category. Now, if any of you, there's all sorts of different third-party marketplaces. If you're familiar with Zorro, if you do a search for ground straps on Zorro, same thing. Our friends at Falcon Electronics come up number 1, and here's a great PO that they landed. Nice little order from Northrop Grumman. This is great. And again, by being out there, stop being the best kept secret. It's a great way to dominate search. Kaylee, another very important question since it's coming in lunchtime, guys. Okay, this is critical. I've had the honor and privilege. Who has the best barbecue? Because guys, please put that in the chat box. I've had the honor and privilege. I have attended. I've gone to Bogart's in St. Louis. I've gone to Arthur Bryant's in Kansas City. Who has the best barbecue? Could you guys please drop that in the chat box? I would really appreciate that if you could. Bogart's, Arthur Bryant's, you guys have another best kept secret that I don't know about because I'm nowhere near you guys. Put that in the chat box if you would. I would sugar fire. Thank you, Curt. Appreciate it. Anybody else have any suggestions? Any barbecue suggestions? I would slaps. Thank you. LC's, Arthur Bryant's, Jack Stack. Man, it sounds like is Kansas City's the winner here. Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah. Okay. Thanks, David. All right. Back to business. Okay. Dominating search. Their most popular size. When I started, I showed you that product page for the 8-inch ground strap. If Elsa, our soulmate, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, a buyer at a major Fortune 500 company, somebody Department of Defense, they sell to military projects. If somebody does a search for 8-inch ground straps, take a look what's going on. I don't need to explain everything, but I know you're going to assume, well, hey, Curt, I'm assuming all these arrows are representing our friends. Yes, they are. So you see here, number 1 is Amazon. Guess whose product that is? You know the answer. Number 2, it's Amazon, but you know what the answer is. Down here, number 4 is Walmart. Because they position themselves on Walmart, they're coming up there. Number 5 and number 6 is landing on their own website. And you look at all these images here, all of those images are theirs. So again, our goal is when Elsa, our soulmate, when they need this product, boy, we don't want that competitor coming up, especially these are made in USA. We don't want a foreign manufacturer coming up above us. We feel it's our obligation. We want to come up and dominate those search results. If our soulmate does 8-inch ground straps and they go to images, a lot of our buyers are like, hey, I know what you're talking about, but I need to see it. Once again, all these arrows represent images. Let's get underneath the hood. Let's start talking about, okay, Curt, this is great. Love it. Mr. Tough Guy. Thank you for showing us. How do you do this? How do we start capturing? Because it takes time. Okay. It takes a lot of time to start capturing these rankings. Now, this is the front page of that 8-inch ground strap. Okay. We were talking before the program, Stacy, we were talking about, we love WordPress, WooCommerce. It is a great platform. If you're just starting out, if your website is already on WordPress, and you're like, hey, I want to jump in e-commerce. Do I need to leave WordPress? Absolutely not. You can stay right on WordPress and just go on to WooCommerce. One of our favorite words, it's free. They have all sorts of free options. Even if you're on Shopify or you're on another SaaS product or another e-commerce platform, there's excellent opportunities to capture these SEO rankings. Let's go underneath the hood. I want to show you behind the scenes. This is behind the scenes of a WordPress website. This is what's going on, okay? So what we see is we've loaded it up with keywords. See, braided ground straps, braided ground straps, braided ground straps. We keep repeating that word. Now we're not overdoing it. How do I know how to do it? There's a thing called SEO Yoast. SEO Yoast should be your absolute best friend. Man, it makes you look like a genius. I don't need to be an SEO guru. I just need to make sure I can tell what color is which. When all these colors here on the left are green, man, I know I'm in a good spot. So you take a look, like, hey, you have internal links, you have your keyword, you have H tags, so again, without getting too deep, what SEO Yoast does, if you're taking down notes, encourage you, if you don't already have SEO Yoast on your WordPress website, talk to your web designer, talk to the team, talk to Stacy at Missouri Enterprise. you definitely want to get this implemented on your website. It makes you just look like a genius at work, man. Trust me, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and it just makes me look like a smart guy. I don't know, that might be a stretch, but so when you do a search result and you're like, hey, how does Google know what to grab? You know, what are they grabbing off the website? Well, you have the opportunity, you tell Google what you want. You're guiding them with those keywords. So again, you have like an SEO title, you have a meta description. You're like, hey, what's meta? Don't even worry about that. Just what you want to do is like, if your ideal buyer is doing a search, what's the information, what's the description that you would want them to see or read when they do that search result? We showed you how important it is coming up on all those images. Well, what you can do, we call it tag images. You're like, hey, what the heck does tag images mean? Once again, SEO Yoast, WordPress makes your life so easy because you can load up these keywords right here in that caption, the description, the text here. And by loading those keywords in there, you're helping to tell Google and therefore your soulmate, like, hey, when you do a Google search for my particular product, like engineering, your food product, whatever it might be, we're trying to tell Google, we want to raise our hand and say, hey, we're not the best kept secret. We can help satisfy this person's problem. We can solve that for them today. And again, here's another example. If I do ground straps, all these arrows represent images that Falcon Electronics, and we're working diligently to keep. Next time I come back, I'd like to have that page full of arrows. Okay. So once again, let me just do, I'm going to take it deeper one more step. If I do a search for electrical ground straps, that's another key phrase that Engineering Elsa or our soulmate would use. Again, it's not about me. This is all about you. I want you thinking about what are those keywords that your ideal buyer is using? What would they be searching with? What we did is we created a guide, okay? If you remember my friends at the baby changing station, they had like that great guide for Mario, the facilities manager. Well, what we did at Falcon Electronics, we put together this awesome, the official ground strap resource guide. And by putting together that guide, that has helped us by capturing, again, this Google snippet, because we want to show ourselves as the authority on this particular topic. Okay. Now, what Google's looking for, man, we keep talking about food. They're looking for good eats. Now, what does EAT stand for? EAT stands for E is expertise, A is authority, T is trust. Okay. So now when you, okay, like, what do you mean by that? Expertise, authority, and trust. So like the Missouri Enterprise, they are an authority. They are a team of trust. They are an incredible resource guide for manufacturers. What we want to do is we want to have the same results for you. So now, a lot of people are like, well, hey, why do I need to be on social? And I'm not encouraging you saying that you have to be on social, but if you're in manufacturing or in the B2B space, boy, I encourage you, welcome you, invite you, and you really need to be on LinkedIn. Kaylee, maybe we could have another, if you're having as much fun as I am, maybe I have a fun LinkedIn workshop. Maybe we'll come back in 2022, do a LinkedIn workshop. But by resonating that trust with those soulmates, you're helping tell Google, this is an authority website. This is an area of expertise that we deliver on our solutions. And therefore, you could trust us to be ranked on that first page. Now, check this out. Sometimes we're asked, well, hey, Curt, you got that Google snippet. Like, how many times did you put that keyword in that guide? Check this out. And this is between us, top secret. We put it in there 43 times. We have over 2,300 words. We have a great description. We've gone super deep with this. Okay. So again, not so much, I don't want to overwhelm you with the concept, but I just want you thinking and just be laser focused on the problem that you provide, the solution that you provide for the problem that your soulmate has. Again, we have like technical drawings here. We have our call to action. Let's get started with your ground strap quote. Get started fast. Again, your buyers are in a hurry. They're in a rush. Let's help satisfy them. Once again, we have a great video here. So I want to run through. I'm going to pause on there. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, and again, I'm happy to address anything, but that's how you go through those keyword strategies for search. Okay. Now, if we don't have any questions, I'm going to talk about, okay, it's like, hey, how long does that take? Well, unfortunately, SEO takes time. Okay. It takes time. And when we go through training, so say like if you connect with the Missouri Enterprise, you're like, hey, could you help me out with some SEO? We can go through some keyword strategies with you, for you. And what we want to do is like, where are the opportunities for you to move the needle as fast as possible? A lot of times folks are going to go after like really broad terms. We want to get more specific, but let me just show you, like, say if you're like, hey, I want to get into the game yesterday. Okay. I don't have 6 months. I don't have a year to start capturing these first page rankings. If this is new to you, you can use Google pay-per-click, Google ads, and that's how Google makes their gazillions of dollars. Okay. Now, if you're way past this, please forgive me. If this is brand new to you, let's just take a little quick deep dive here. Whenever you do a Google search and you see that little AD, that stands for ad. That's how Google makes their bazillions of dollars. It doesn't cost me a penny to be in that position, but every time somebody clicks on the ad, cash register rings, and that's how Google makes their fortune. Okay. However, when Engineering Elsa or my soulmate, when they have a problem right now, by using pay-per-click, I can be found immediately. Now, I will warn you, it does get expensive. It can add up super, super fast. So you want to be cautious when you're using Google pay-per-click. Now, again, if you're looking at those ads, you're like, well, how does Google just randomly come into your website and just grab information? You have the opportunity. You can tell Google exactly what you want your soulmate to see. So you take a look here. This is underneath the hood, behind the scenes of a Google pay-per-click ad. Okay. Now you take a look at this headline over here. Save on braided ground straps, free shipping, made in USA. Boy, with supply chain problems, that is music to everybody's ears. You take a look over here on the right, and this is, if you're on your desktop or a laptop, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see a full-blown ad, and we're trying to maximize as much real estate as humanly possible. Why? What it does is I want to push those other ads down. So if we can capture this above the fold, now hopefully Engineering Elsa is going to click on us first. Now, 50, 60, maybe 70% of your soulmate searches might be done on mobile. So you're like, hey, wait a minute, Curt, people aren't using desktop for our customers, for our search. Well, then we want to take a look. What does your search look like on mobile? And again, you can use the same verbiage, talk about the benefits that you provide, not necessarily the features. What are the benefits, right? Why should we do business with you? What have you done to earn our trust, right? Whether, again, food product, engineering, whatever product and service that you provide, think about putting those short and sweet little bullet points into those ads. And you want to compare. And as a matter of fact, I'm glad we're talking about this. Little side note, encourage you, look at your website frequently on your mobile device. So frequently, or if you're always looking at your website on your mobile device, check out your website on a desktop or laptop. It is so common. I'm guilty of it. I do this for a living. You're so laser focused on your website on a desktop or a laptop, and we ignore our mobile, or vice versa. And all of a sudden, months later, you go on your mobile and it's distorted, or a picture doesn't look right. Make sure that you're looking at your website on different devices, because we don't know where our soulmate is looking at. Okay. We're going to be taking things home here in a couple minutes here, Kaylee. So hope everybody's having a good time. I want to talk to you guys about your keyword strategy. Okay. Keyword strategy. What do I mean by that? Okay. Keyword strategy, if this is new to you, and especially for most manufacturers, this is completely brand new, just totally foreign. They are awesome, incredible innovators. They make the best products on the planet. However, search, just that they've never encountered this. Why would they know? Keyword research is simply understanding what people are asking and then depositing yourself into that conversation. If we were all at a live networking event and you overheard, man, we need such and such engineering services, I know, like, we would be jumping over like, hey, I can help you, right? It's the exact same thing with Google. The problem that you solve, we want to jump into that conversation. So what I've discovered with so many manufacturers, they're like, hey, what do you guys do? Well, we bend metal, we cut steel, we fabricate something, we make circuit boards, we 3D print something, data. Well, who do you want to target? Well, we can do it for anybody. We can do it for everybody. Well, again, if you try to be everything to everyone, we're going to become nothing to no one, right? Jack of all trades, master of none. If you're selling a pet product and you're like, hey, we sell to dogs or dog lovers. Well, If you try to sell to every dog lover on the planet, man, we're going to go broke. If you sold an air purifier, hey, who's your target market? Well, hey, everybody that breathes, man, we're going to go broke trying to target everybody that breathes. We need to niche down and laser focus on truly who is your soulmate and what is that problem that you solve. So for example, if we were starting out a shoe business, say all of us on the call today, we're going to start a shoe business. We want to start targeting and coming up on first page for shoes. If you guys can see me, I'd like to say, guys, if you want to come up on first page for shoes, you got a better chance of seeing me with hair. It's just not going to happen, right? Just not going to happen. Too broad, too competitive. And especially if we were selling this specific pair of shoes. These are my pink running shoes with purple shoelaces. Now, I want you to think about your product, your solution that you provide, and I want you to apply this strategy. If we tried shoes, it's going to be way, way, way too broad. Maybe if we even went running shoes, man, we're going against Nike and Adidas. Come on, guys, like it's not going to happen. How about pink running shoes? Well, now we're starting to get a little bit more specific. Now maybe we have a chance, pink Nike running shoes. But if we did pink running shoes with purple shoelaces. Now think about this. If you were if you manufactured printed circuit boards, you're like, hey, I can do a printed circuit board for anybody. Well, really, do you do through hole? Do you do surface mount? Like, well, I just do surface mount. Okay. Well, do you do, certain resistors? Well, I do certain types with conformal coating. Okay, bam. What if we did surface mount printed circuit boards with conformal coating? Now you might be like, man, that's a really long keyword. However, if Engineering Elsa, your soulmate, is doing the search, they're going to run into the same problem. If they start with shoes, running shoes, when they really need pink running shoes with purple shoelaces, they're not going to have a good shopping experience by going broad. They need to get specific. So back to like our barbecue example, or like, again, any of your product, whatever you sell, if you 3D print something, if you or let's say a plastic injection molding company. If you did plastic injection molding, way, way too broad, it's like running shoes. But if you did plastic injection molding for turbine engines or in aerospace, or finish the sentence with your industry, with the product, with a very specific, that's going to give you a much better search result. You're going to have a much better chance of connecting and resonating with your soulmate. So again, if we did pink running shoes with purple shoelaces, look, it's so much more specific on the search result. Okay. So again, I hope this is making sense. That's my tip and my strategy for you. And again, if we were on a call, we would be geeking out and digging deep into how this works. Now, if you're on your own and you want to like, hey, I like what you're saying, I want to take this a little bit further. There's a completely free tool that I encourage you to use. I love this tool, been using this for 20 plus years. It's called Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner. It is completely free. Now, when you sign up for it, you're signing up for a Google Ads account. Google Ads is going to ask you, they're going to require you to submit a credit card. They used to not do that. They now require a credit card. You're not going to spend a penny. This tool is completely free. And if you're going deep into your search strategy, this will be your absolute best friend. In our training, we take people super deep on how to use Google Keyword Planner. And right up here at the top, like what I've done is I've put in pink running shoes, and Google comes back why I love e-commerce, why I love search marketing. Google makes my life so much easier. I don't have to guess like, hey, are people searching for pink running shoes? Google tells me, yes, Curt, 2,400 people a month are looking for pink running shoes. I come down here, 720 people are looking for pink Asics. How about pink Nike running shoes? 1,600 people. So again, you can take your product, your service, your solution, drop that into Google Keyword Planner, and Google's going to tell you, hey, people are searching for this. You might want to go after this keyword, or they can say, hey, you know what? Nobody's searching for this. Let's find the right keyword that you should be attacking and going after. Okay. Last thing I want to talk to you about, as we're coming into time, is domain authority. I won't go super deep here. We actually offer a website audit. We offer it for free. I tie in with I work with the MEP. So if you're like, hey, Curt's going to try to sell me anything, everything that I do is with an MEP in whatever state that you're in. So in Missouri, if you want to connect with the amazing advisors here at the Missouri Enterprise, you're like, hey, I'd like to get a free website audit. please connect with the team at the Missouri Enterprise. Sorry, guys, I mean to put any pressure on you guys, but I will spit back a completely free audit for you guys. And what it does is every website has a ranking. Every website has a ranking. It's called domain authority, and it's 1 out of 100. Okay. And what it does, it's telling Google like how relevant is your website? How much, see like right here, this trust flow score here at the top. It's like, is this website a site of trust? Okay. Like when you think of like LinkedIn, Facebook, Google, they're all like 90s, in the 90s of domain authority. Most manufacturers I work with, they're probably in the teens. Unfortunately, I had a client this morning, like there were 5. We have a lot of work to do with them. But typically you're going to be like in the teens, maybe in the 20s. Boy, if you're at a 30, you are absolutely crushing it. But if you're talking with your web provider, or if you have a search specialist on your team, pay attention to where do you stand on your domain authority. I won't get deep into this because we're coming to time. Guys, a great way to build up that authority is obviously through social. We could have a whole program on this slide alone. Probably we could have multiple programs just on every platform on this slide. And last thing I'm going to close out with is taking advantage of videos again. I mentioned earlier how important those videos are. If you are using YouTube, make sure you put a good, healthy description, because YouTube is also an incredible search engine. Get your keywords into that description on a video. Don't just post a video and ignore the description part. It's critical that you add the description. Look what Falcon Electronics has done down here at the bottom. They've added links to their products. They've added links to their ground strap guide. So again, if you have blog posts, resource information, guides, you want to get those into the descriptions of your videos. So guys, I'm going to wind down. I would absolutely be honored to connect with you guys on LinkedIn. I would love to, I'm happy to stick around and address any questions that you have. I'm not going anywhere, so please don't be shy. I would love to go on in any questions that you have. And again, sell tons of stuff online. That's our definition of e-commerce. Make it as easy as possible to do business with you. Make them feel like an Einstein. Guys, again, we have a free webinar every single Friday. Our gentleman tomorrow is a sales guru. He has like 400,000 followers on LinkedIn. He has high-level tips. You can just go to my website and just register for that. Again, no obligation. It's completely free. We have a great time. And lastly, I thought I saw Becky from the TAC was going to join the program. If you guys are a manufacturer, man, in every state that I work with, I encourage you guys, contact your local TAC. You can contact the Missouri Enterprise, talk to them about the TAC network. It's a federal funding program to help manufacturers that are battling I'll say cheap foreign competition. So connect with your local TAC. Again, huge thank you to the Missouri Enterprise. Thank you guys for this opportunity to join you today. Connect with your MEP. You guys are so blessed in Missouri. You have passionate, brilliant advisors here. Connect with these guys. Kaylee, I think you wanted to give a shout out to the Connects program, right?
Yeah, so just to kind of highlight right now, we have Connects Missouri, which is a free program that anybody can go sign up. You create a profile, and then you're kind of out there for other people to see. Ideally, it's kind of to help you connect with people that could buy your parts that you're offering, but also if you're in need of a part, you can go and search and say, hey, I need somebody to supply this right now. And then there's that. There's also access to a national database where we could connect you with our supply program manager if that's something you're interested in also. But it's a really great tool, and it's kind of, we started it and hopefully eventually it'll be nationwide and available in every state, but we want to be able to help kind of with some of the supply chain issues right now. So that's what Connects Missouri is about. And like I said, there's also a national database that can connect you with national suppliers as well. So, so as far as Connects goes, it's a great program. Shout out to Jeff, because he's doing pretty great with it, wrangling it. And he's got some success out of it already. So we're pretty proud of it. So, and then in addition to that, I am going to be sending you all the survey within the chat. We ask that you take a couple of minutes and, like I said, help us out to fill that out. Your feedback's important. You know, we kind of rely on it. Like I said, it's your chance to kind of grade us, and so we can continue to help you all in the future. So we'd really appreciate it if you take a few minutes for that. And aside from that, Curt, we really appreciate you joining us. We appreciate you doing this. And like he said, with his free website audit, if you need if you're interested in that, please let us know and we can get you hooked up. So.
Yeah, and I think Chuck dropped a comment here, Chuck. So I have a bunch of shortcomings on my website, need assistance. As Curt mentioned, and I think you're with Engineering Works, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I thought that was a phenomenal website that you have. But again, reach out. Stacy dropped. He stopped in Google Trends. That's a phenomenal tool. Thank you, Stacy. And again, Chuck, we are more than happy to help in any capacity. Reach out. I have my email right here. I'm on LinkedIn. I shot a LinkedIn connection to a bunch of you guys last night. Curt, Tom, I know we connected. Thank you. And, again, we want to help you guys move the needle. That's what the Missouri Enterprise is here for, to help you guys, let's get success as fast as possible. So, drop me an email, drop Kaylee or anybody else on the team. And if you do reach out to me direct, what I do is I'm going to circle back to Kaylee and say like, hey guys, somebody from Missouri reached out to me, and how can we help you guys? What needs to happen here to help you? So Chuck, we're happy to help. If you want to come off mute, I'm happy to, or Kaylee, if you have another minute, I'd be happy to address any questions that you have right now.
Yep, we're good.
Curt, what's my experience with Alibaba? Great question. So Chuck, in the meantime, if you want to come off mute, but I'll answer that real quick, Curt. So I've had the honor and privilege. I do this past year, I do a lot of programming with Alibaba, and we do a lot of speaking at different MEPs around the country. And one a wonderful, amazing woman on the Alibaba team is one of our speakers. And they do a great job. I've had a couple of clients. I don't have a ton of success stories there, but especially if you're trying to get into a global marketplace, what I like about Alibaba is they don't take a percentage of sales. Okay. What they do is they have an annual fee that they charge, and then everything is yours. And it's more friendly, especially for custom manufacturers, when you're trying to get RFQs or you're trying to create relationships or dialogue. So you don't have to have a finished product to be on Alibaba. I've also had a lot of clients that have found that they've opened up the door that there's not as many, I want to say it like this. Alibaba just started with US manufacturers in 2019. So there's not as much competition on Alibaba as there is other places, because it's still in the newer phases. So again, I would explore. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I've a great relationship with several folks at Alibaba. I'd be happy to connect you. And I think there are, depending on your product, there are incredible opportunities there.
Curt, can you hear me?
Yeah. Is this Chuck?
Yeah, this is Chuck.
Hey, Chuck.
Yeah. So I guess among the things that I have as far as shortcomings go regarding the website anyway is I am not even coming up on searches that I'm aware of, and I'm not sure if you were able to find me, but if you look at some of the keywords that I've generated, we specialize in performing designs and support in the food processing industry and chemical processing and what have you. So we have kind of our niche. We have several avenues we provide services in, but one of the niches that we've developed over the last few years is in sanitary design of material handling systems, custom material handling systems. Everything we do is a custom design. But I have done, over the last 35 years, multiple below-the-hook lifting devices, gantry systems, just all kinds of overhead material handling that involves something unique or unusual that can be found in the conventional, offerings, if you will. And lately, it's been in the areas of sanitary design. And so, on those, and I've included those keywords in the building of the website, but I'm missing something. I'm not savvy in this area at all. I focus on engineering, and I find myself in deep lulls sometimes between job projects and stuff. So we need to kind of flatten out, if you will, that source of revenue stream, so we don't have so many deep troughs. But what I'm not finding, and my daughter is also an engineer. She works up in Kansas City, and she would advocate for the barbecue in Kansas City as well. But anyway, she brought it to my attention that you don't come up on your on searches, and so that's like fundamental, and so I have. That's why I say I've got work to do, and I don't know exactly how to address that. So that's where guys like you come in and helping me, get on first base. And then, as I mentioned in my note to you, that I've been developing products over the years for a lot of different industries, but most recently over the last 10 years anyway, I've been deeply embedded with somebody who's developed products for the lineman industry, the electrical lineman. And a lot of custom products, a lot of useful products, but very, very low volumes on things that should be just going crazy gangbusters. And he's tried to market through major distributors and very prominent distributors throughout North America and Canada. And what we're just not picking up on is the volume of sales that should be going on there. And I've kind of taken this another step. I've come up with a product that I'd like to take to market myself. But again, I've got to get to step one of getting recognition on the searches before.
Right. So how about, I hope or think or feel that this would be potential. So what I try to do, I want to be super mindful and respectful of everybody's time. And if you have to cut off, man, thank you. God bless you. I can't express how much I love doing these, and I appreciate you. Your time is precious, and I never take it for granted. I appreciate everybody being on the call with us today. What I do feel, if everybody's comfortable, I do feel this would be relevant, Curt or Chuck, if I'm following you correctly. And I'd like to go through a process with everybody on this is how I would, like we got on a call together, and again, we could pull in, myself and somebody from Missouri Enterprise, and we kind of geek out, go through this strategy if I'm following you correctly. So let me go through this. You threw a lot at me. Let me just make sure. So let me just run through example again. Like say, Chuck, you're like, Curt, I want to come up first page on engineering, right? You guys see this number right here? See that 3.5 billion pages for engineering? That's a takeaway today. Just remember, I have a better shot of seeing Curt with hair than coming up on first page for just engineering, right? Now, Chuck, you said engineering, you said a couple of things. Give me like another keyword. You do engineering sanitary. Is that what I heard?
Let's talk sanitary design.
Okay, so now if I do, I can't spell, but if I did sanitary engineering design, see how that 3.5 billion just went down to 37 million?
Okay.
Now, 37 million is still a ton of pages. That's a lot, but man, I just went down by 90%, right? I went from 3.5 billion. This is my pink running shoes with purple shoelaces, right? You guys remember this example I gave? So again, I do feel or hope this would be potentially relevant for you. We went from engineering to like engineering design to sanitary engineering design. Chuck, do you have like, is there one more word or another word I could put in here?
Material handling systems.
Material handling systems. Okay. Sanitary engineering design, material handling systems. Okay. Now, man, that's a lot. For some reason that went back up. Okay. What's going on this page? Okay. When I see a page like this, and I feel this is relevant for everybody on the call. And this is why I love dealing with manufacturers, because there's incredible search opportunities. Okay. When I do a search like this, let me see if let me just take handling out for 1 second. Okay. Something in here is like driving that number up, but when I do, anyway, okay. So handling systems, but when I see a page like this, what I call this is Google 2005. And what do I mean by that? What do you guys notice that's missing on here? There's not a single picture. There's not a single image. There's not a single video. There's nothing on here So like, if we did like shoes, look at all these pictures, all these images, so on and so forth. Like in 2005, when you did a search on Google, you never saw an image, you never saw pictures, videos. It was very bland. It was blank. It was a naked page. Okay. Why I love working with manufacturers, there are so many pink running shoes with purple shoelaces, sanitary engineering design, material handling systems, right? When I look on here, I'm like, man, Chuck, there's all sorts of opportunity. Dude, let's get a video. Let's get some images going. Do you have a blog post? We want to go after some different information like Google. Whenever you see like a PDF in a search, see that PDF right there?
Right.
When I see a PDF, I'm like, man, Google is starving for information because this is this is called a long tail keyword.
Gotcha.
So like, this is pretty extreme, like having, 6 words like this, but again, it's my pink running shoes with purple shoelaces. Now, does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
So now what you've done is I preach to anybody that's willing to listen. And I do these trainings, I don't know, daily, but, on multiple times a week. We talk about niching down we even call it niching down till it hurts. Like, man, when I say that, what do you mean by niching down till it hurts? Niching down where it's like you're actually alienating or eliminating. I'm not trying to be the engineer to everybody. I'm not a plastics engineer. I'm not a, whatever. I'm a specific sanitary engineering design, materials handling, blah, 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 right? So now if I go, so I'm just going to run through, okay, Curt, you talked about that Google Keyword Planner. Let's take a look at how that works. Okay, so if I do engineering, I can't spell, but very broad. So again, guys, I want you thinking about your keyword, your process, and you put that into Google Keyword Planner. I hit this little button, get results. And it's thinking, and Google's going to tell me how many searches there are. Okay, so for very broad, it's 100,000 to 1 million searches per month for engineering. And Chuck, you could be like, hey, Curt, let's go after it. And I'd be like, man, Chuck, it's too broad, dude. We got to niche down. And you've already done that for me. So let me just running through an exercise, let me just take sanitary engineering. Okay. And let's just see what that looks like. So I take that out and I put that in here and I go sanitary engineering. Now I've gone down from 100 to 1,000. Now you might say, you know what? That's a really good keyword for me. Like, and there's 100 to 1,000 people every month looking for it. That could be my sweet spot. Now okay, Chuck, let's roll up our sleeves. And like you're saying, we've got to stop being a best kept secret. We need a keyword strategy on sanitary engineering. Now you had shared, if I go, let me do this. Okay. How about what if I just add design? Let me just see what this looks like. Okay. And again, guys, I know we're helping out Chuck, but I want you thinking about your business, your process, and how could you be doing the same thing? And this is going to help you out with your keyword strategy. Now here it says, okay, sanitary engineering design, bummer. It's saying there's only 0 to 10 searches. Now let's say, for example, Chuck, you're in a world where you're closing 5-figure, even 6-figure projects. Well, if there's 0 to 10 people searching for that a month, that's anywhere from that could represent 50 to 100 people a year. And I could close a 5 to 6-figure project. I don't need a ton of projects, but if I could close a handful, I'd be aggressively going after that key phrase. And again, we're just scratching the surface. I would go deeper, but are you getting you see where I'm going here?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So guys, that's why it's so important. Now, if I do I found you last night. So let's see, Chuck, and it's what's your last name, Chuck?
Up with a K, K-L-U-M-P.
Okay. So now guys, let me throw my LinkedIn hat for a minute. Okay. If you're not on LinkedIn and you're in the B2B space, you're in manufacturing, boy, I beg you, encourage you, welcome you, take a strong look at being on LinkedIn, because look, when I look for Chuck, what's number one? His LinkedIn profile. And that's going to be the case for most of us, like Curt Anderson's a pretty common name, but for most of you, that's what you're going to come up. So again, if your soulmate, I talked about engineering Elsa, or, whoever that ideal buyer is, they want to, 70% of buying decisions are made before they even pick up the phone or reach out to you. You want to have that strong online presence So Chuck, I hope you don't mind. I'm pulling up your LinkedIn profile.
Okay.
And so now here we see, here's handsome Chuck. He's at Engineering Works, so on and so forth. And I did I did go to your website last night, so I was on it. So again, I just want everybody to think about like going through that process of what does somebody see when they land on your presence, on your online presence. Okay. So Chuck, let's do this since and guys, if anybody else wants to jump in here, or if any other questions, I'm happy to address this, but let's do engineering. So it's works.com.
Worksforyou.com. The numeral 4.
Number 4.
Yes.
Look like that.
YOU.com.
Is that you?
Things are closing up a little bit.
Is that your website?
I'm not seeing, engineering works for you for YOU.com. There you go. That's it.
Okay. So again, guys, we're going through a process here of in your ideal buyer, they're going through that buying process, doing a Google search, landing on your website, checking out your LinkedIn profile. And again, how can we help them, make their life as easy as possible? So Chuck, what we could do again, feel free to shoot me an email or reach out to one of the folks on at the Missouri Enterprise. And, we could take a little deeper dive and see what's going on with your website. I can run that audit and we can take a look at, and we can very quickly kind of point out where there's some gaps and where there's some opportunities, for you to improve here quickly, especially because your niche keyword. You're going after that sanitary, handling. There should be some great opportunities there. I'd be stunned if there isn't, right? Okay. Anybody else want to chime in? Any other questions or get any? I'd be happy. I have Google Keyword Planner open. Anybody else want me to pop in anything or any other searches? Again, I want to be mindful of everybody's time. Is everybody good? And again, I've got a few more minutes. I'm more than happy to address any questions that you guys have. And I think I saw Pat. Pat's on the call. Pat's with an MEP in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. So welcome, Pat. Thanks for joining us. We just did a fun webinar for a couple of your colleagues, NWIRC and who I think IWC earlier in September. So thanks for joining us today. And anybody else have any questions that we want to hit? And Julie, I think Julie's at Phoenix Decor. Julie, I checked out your website. You're looking good. Was somebody saying something? Any other questions?
All right. So I guess if there's no other questions from anybody, again, the survey link is in the chat. We ask that you fill that out and we can give everybody back their lunchtime, enjoy their day. So thank you again, Curt.
Oh, this was great. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you to everybody at Missouri Enterprise. And this was a blast. So again, reach out to us, reach out to the Missouri Enterprise, and we're happy to help you guys. So thank you for joining us today.